Oh, now you're gonna.
3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out. Bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery. You're tuning to Legacy. Check the flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round. Who gets it the mat? Legacy. You want a legacy. You built a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see. Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
Yo. What it do in the streets? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I'm your man, Darrell Owens, alongside with me today, of course, the man, myth, and the absolute legend, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. Jay, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing. That's about all I can say.
Right? That's kind of how it's been lately. You know, it's just been like, we're here, and that's the first step.
My favorite part of the whole beginning of this is the fact that you ran over and had to get Brutus and the Ohio State thing to put in front of me just to rub that shit in a little bit more.
No. I just knew I forgot the last time, and I didn't want to be,
Well, it'd have been good if you had put it there before they got their asses whooped.
Well, you told me not to go for them, and I didn't. So I listened to your instruction.
But you still said before that. What did you say before that?
I said I had a good feeling.
Yeah,
But
well, how's
I
that
said,
feeling
but
now?
the key word was but. I definitely said but afterwards, and went from there. That was the key.
But yeah, you're an ass.
Once again, everybody, thank y'all all for tuning in. So glad to have you all here with us today as we get ready for another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. And before we get started, of course, I want to go ahead and if you don't know by now, it's been a really rough week for myself. And, we've got other situations going on within the network with family members of our team that are struggling with some things. So real quick, prayers goes out to our Becca Cottingham. I know you got a lot going on right now, but we do have you in mind, and our prayers go out to you, and that God will see everything through. Second thing,
Prayers to you and your family.
yeah, prayers, and it has been a long week. There were times that I didn't know how I was going to get through. Because I really didn't know how to feel. It's just been weird because you don't really realize what happens until it happens,
There's nothing, and even if you think you're ready, you're not.
Yeah, and so, losing mom was tough, man. I mean, it's been a long 5 months, both grandparents and losing mom under this situation is just
shitty.
It's poopy.
Oh. I'll say it.
I mean, I just want to personally thank everybody who has, hit me up, who has, hey, Darrell, I hope everything's okay, everything. All of those people that have come through and been extremely nice, man. I truly appreciate it. So
Hilda, I thought we were friends.
What did Hilda say?
Go Packers.
Now, Hilda, you know what? That's just a blessing. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, this episode is going to be dedicated to my mom,
Mama Owens.
and like I said, I know I don't want to get all sappy sobby at the beginning of this, but like I said, I feel like I told Jay one time, probably a couple shows ago, I feel like every one of our shows recently we have to start off with some condolences. I'm like, man, why does this keep happening? It's like
it's so messed up because December of 2019 we started with Speedy,
right,
and it's just been a shit show since then.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time now we have to. It's been like something where we have to be like, oh, this and that, this person, that
Our
person.
condolences, former gentleman with the network, Josh Stats.
Yeah.
What, Grandpa
passed away, and then, like I said, it's been one of those things where I can't believe that we keep, having to deal with it. But I feel like this year more than others, or this year heading in from last year, we've had to deal with this a lot more than we've had to deal with it in the past. So, and I feel like with everything going on with COVID that we've had, everything has been heightened, if I should say. I feel like everything is a little bit more enhanced. Everybody paying a little bit more attention to it. So, I mean, like I said, for myself, on behalf of my family, truly appreciate it. Mama, I love you. Like I said, it's just weird to me. I don't know if I'll ever truly get over it.
You won't.
And
I'm not trying to be morbid or an asshole like, normally I am, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been.
I know I see Hilda's post. It's one of those. It's a hole that will never be filled, and you'll adapt and overcome. And I talk to my mom every day.
Yeah,
in my head.
I tell everybody from this experience, just make sure that you spend time with your parents. All right, so now that I've gotten that all out of my
Hilda,
my
get
system.
rid of Tom Brady. Hey, I hate Tom Brady. I don't like him at all, but you know what? We're going to the championship game, so whatever.
I think, Jay, I remember a conversation we had probably, right when Tom got signed. And I said, no matter how much you hate him, I'm almost 100% sure if he can get you back into the playoffs or get you back to the Super Bowl, you'll still hate him, but you'll appreciate him.
No, absolutely.
And it's just how I told somebody. That's how I felt with LeBron James. I felt the same way with LeBron James. Like I didn't really want him in Miami, but hey, I mean, if you're going to give me my championships, give me something to brag about a little bit. I'm going to support you while you're here. So now I'll trash you again after you leave. But for the time being, though. Yeah.
I just think, I mean, it's going to be really cold up there, and they need to just say, okay, we're going to go with the game you guys played earlier in the season, just let it be.
Yeah, I don't like the way that sounds. That actually sounds like a miserable idea. What type of idea is that? Just go with what happened during the season? We both know what happened during the season.
What up, Purnell? I know we did. Because I was talking to you,
and you already know the rule. I told Jay that we can't even speak. We can't even speak this weekend. Like I love this guy, but I'm not talking to him. As soon as 3:00 hit on Sunday, win, lose, or draw, I'm not even gonna. If we win the game, I'm not even gonna text him after the game and be like, "Hey man," because I know I respect this man's feelings. He needs time to process. I'm gonna give him a day. Now after the day, I'm pretty sure he'll come after me, and I'll come after him either way or the other.
But see, both of us are pretty set in our ways about talking shit before games.
True.
Because karma's a bitch, and she will fuck you up.
She will come back and get you. And I don't want no parts of that. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Love you too, Hilda.
I don't want no parts of that. I can feel it in my soul. But, yeah, so we'll see. We'll get to that in just a little bit here. Now, before we get rocking and rolling on all this fancy stuff, we got to talk about the Desean Watson, give you a little update on what's going on there because she's been a wild one with a some face. But it's been wild, man. Like, Desean looks like he's on his way out of Houston.
He wants out, but the most intriguing part of this is not him wanting out, but from what I've read, they've offered like 3 coaches already, and they've all said no. It is the least desirable place to coach right now.
It's because when all of the players, Randall Cobb posted something where Desean had said something. He put a gif out of, Danny Glover's walking into a situation and the whole building's on fire. He said, and so if you're getting that from your players, I've never seen players say, hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. The players on the team are telling, this is your star quarterback. And one person would probably be like, oh, man, that's because they don't like him. No, dude, go do what's best for you, man. Like, they're trying to save him.
And one of the biggest people that is supporting him is J.J. Watt. And J.J. Watt is what really built that franchise up. You say Texans, I mean, you think of, 2 people. And one's, David Carr.
Right.
Their very first pick. And you think J.J. Watt.
Right.
And he will probably more than likely, unless he is traded, finish out his career there. One hell of a career, but it in his own words, it's a wasted career.
And
it's Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to even say those things, to say that he had a wasted career. What's that? Was that TC? Yeah, we live, Charlotte. We in the streets now. This episode is live now. So when you came in last time, TC, you was catching the replay. We live right now, brother. We as live as we can. The replay will play tonight at 7. So if you come on at 7, you're gonna see the the replay.
Come back at 7.
Come here. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there looking at it, and I say, well, if you're Houston, they're trying to do right by him now, because you know that he was like, I wanted Eric Bieniemy. I always say his name wrong, Bieniemy, and that's who he wanted, and they were going to include him on decisions. Now all of a sudden he gets an interview, but I feel like it's too little, too late.
Oh yeah.
And this almost feels like a situation. I remember when before LeBron left Miami. I know I keep bringing up LeBron, but it's easier for me to
because who he wanted certain people, and then you guys
and then he
left the ass,
and he left. So LeBron asked for. I remember in the draft he was like, I want Shane Napier. That's who I would like y'all to pick in this draft at that spot. So we pick him, and as soon as we pick him, my man gone. I was like what? So I understand it. So I feel like Texans might end up picking him, and then Desean might be gone unless they feel like Eric Bieniemy can convince him to stay.
Texas doesn't even have a pick until when? The 3rd round?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why, I was saying the other week, if they trade Desean, they've got to get multiple. They've got to try to regain what Bill O'Brien took away from them.
I've seen so many different things of different trades, and some of them are, legit good trades.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I saw one to the Jets where the Jets give up 3 firsts and a second this year.
That Jets one was very intriguing to me.
Very much so, because there's still pieces there that he can work with.
Right.
Along, they got a young tackle. But
they're still building that offensive line, and I feel like, to me, he can still work magic the way he can, but it's almost like going right back to.
But it's like the comparison I gave you earlier. I would think a place like Minnesota would be good for him.
I don't know.
I know you don't, but
I heard Carolina earlier. They said Carolina. I'm not trying to be funny. I saw that earlier. They said Carolina is going to put their name in the hat for him.
Fuck Carolina.
I'm just telling you what they said. Carolina's going to put their name in the hat for him. So
that's great. Just fucking fantastic. He needs to keep his ass in the AFC. Who would be smart to try to do something with him?
Who?
And not be smart, but Belichick.
Belichick is one I've also seen. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a wild ride because the Texans still technically have all the leverage. He already signed a contract, man, like a big time contract.
But he's worth every damn pound.
He is. I mean, because without him, what should they do? TC says the Pats should give the house to the Texans. True, but here's where I think the Pats have an inside track. Obviously, guess who they just hired? They just hired the personnel director from the Patriots.
Yep.
So if anybody wanted to be like, oh, man, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time for them to say, look, we know you, you know me. Let's make this change. I mean, why not?
It's going to have to be a hell of a haul. And I really think that J.J. Watt will be wearing this jersey next year.
Man, I saw something about that almost made me it would be great to see him in this jersey. But I saw something, I'm like, something's like, it's getting closer and closer. You know how these websites are, that Pittsburgh would be a spot. I'm like, does he really need to go to Pittsburgh? I mean, I know his brothers are there, but sheesh. Does he really need to go to Pittsburgh?
But see, in Pittsburgh, he's going to be more overshadowed because, honestly, in that setup, in the way, his brother's way better in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And you guys, kind of think of it as getting when you all got Reggie White.
Right.
So I wouldn't hate that.
Hey, I like the way that sounds.
I really think, it would help your guys' defense. You got a couple very interesting building blocks on that secondary that are finally, like Alexander got hosed for not making the Pro Bowl.
It's crazy.
Because he
it's absolutely crazy.
The only corner that is better than him, PPF wise,
right,
is Ramsey.
And Devontae Adams just treated him like a stepchild. So
yeah,
but hey, it is what it is. I mean, we'll see. But
time will tell.
Time will tell to see where Desean Watson goes. If I had to place my bets, New England's a strong spot, but I know San Francisco's been in there, so we'll see. We'll see.
That Twitter post was great, wasn't it?
Twitter post was phenomenal.
Him sitting there with his little 49ers jersey on. Hey guys, come get me.
Come get me. Gilmore and a first and multiple picks. They need help in the secondary.
Oh,
they need help in the secondary, so I can see that.
Pickups from a whole bunch of busts. They got Hargraves. They got Garyon Conley.
Right.
Conley can't stay healthy. Hargraves couldn't cover me. And so
not you though.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be bad.
No, not at all, not at all. So we'll keep you updated as we hear more about Desean Watson and their situation. We'll let you know. Next topic on our top stories. Now we haven't really had a chance to talk about it because we've been past the time, so we won't be on it long. Tough matchup last week against Alabama.
We got our asses whooped.
I understand that.
The only plea I can say for my Buckeyes is the fact that they had 14 players that were on COVID.
It's crazy.
Reserve.
It's crazy.
5 of them were starters on defense. Now, do I think, if we have those starters, that it's a different outcome? Me as a fan wants to, but as an analyst, I don't think so. I just think they were coming in riding the high horse, and I took the victory of us beating Clemson. That works for me.
It's like I need a revenge from last year, and I got that. It's like I need a revenge from last year, and I got that.
We beat Alabama in the first year of the college football playoffs, which was like 6 years ago. But basically, their third string is the Browns team.
Yeah, that's true. They got a whole squad, man. It's almost an embarrassment of riches.
But but I've looked at this year's incoming class.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State went back and forth with Alabama having the number 1 class.
Right.
Next year's class, we're number 2 behind Clemson. So Ryan Day is doing a great job of recruiting. We just need, you just got
to get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
Much. And Ohio State has nothing to be ashamed of. Yes, it was a tough one, but
nobody thought they deserved to be there.
In the first place. Right. That's how. And we talked about it during the summertime. That's how I felt about Miami when they played the Lakers. I'm like, look, we're here. And this is the first time I'm happy just to be here. Like, we're not supposed to be here. Like, and this is me as a fan. People say, I heard somebody say, I don't want to hear that, man. If you're supposed to be there, you're supposed to be there. No, look, let me tell you something, man. Sometimes you're not supposed to be there. You work hard to get there.
Best said, by the way, Justin Fields just declared for the draft, which I wish him the best on that, but we got a very good, he is the number 2 5-star pocket passer coming in with this spring class.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be McLeod or something like that. I'm very excited to see what he can do, especially with the receivers that we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Olave's gonna go pro, but one of the guys coming in is Marvin Harrison Jr.
At receiver?
Yeah, boy.
Man, that sounds. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That sounds sexy.
Along with Garrett Wilson and Fleming, who were both 5-star prospects. Let's go.
Let's go.
And then Henderson's also coming in this class. The gentleman from up the road.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, before we move on, and this is unrelated but not related, I guess you can say. But Mack Jones has gotten a lot of grief with some people saying, well, he deserves to be a first round, maybe a second round pick. Then some people look at the Alabama quarterback tree and say, he's just got all that talent around him. What are your thoughts on Mack Jones? Do you see him as a first round pick? And 2, Do you think that there's any chance that he can prosper in the league?
Well, okay. You take Tua and Hurts out of the equation, and I know Hurts, when he declared, wasn't an Alabama quarterback, but that's where he started.
Right.
They're shit.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So for me, I could really consider, Alabama quarterbacks like Ohio State quarterbacks.
And that's saying a lot because you can't really name an Ohio State quarterback that's had success in the league, like continuous success. USC is the same way. Alabama's been that way. It's crazy. They're amazing in college, but they just haven't had it.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you can even go look at a couple, say Georgia's the same way.
Yeah. Oklahoma might be quarterback you right now. Right now.
Oh, big time.
They got to be quarterback you right now. Mayfield, Murray, and Hurts had some sparks this year.
Yeah.
So if you're looking right now, they've been the place that you can go get quarterbacks from. So I guess we'll see.
I think Trey Lance should go way before Mack Jones.
I think he's fallen now. I think he's fallen into the second round because of everything that's happening. Like with him not playing this year and deciding to take that step back and say, "Hey, look, I'm just going to go in here and work out."
But there was a guy that played last night that was I think the 34th pick of the second round in '99. His name is Drew Brees.
Yeah. So I mean, that second round could be beautiful for somebody. Somebody can get a steal in the second round. Next topic that we're going to bring up, we're going to update on the coaching carousel before we get into NFL weekend and all that fun stuff. So, over the weekend, real quick, the Texans still coachless. Jay said it earlier. Nobody wants to go there. They're still trying to figure that out. The Detroit Lions is looking like they're going to hire Dan Campbell, the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. I think they're going to make that official here in the next couple of days. Good move by the Lions.
Until the Fords can do what Dan Snyder needs to do and keep their nose the hell out, just pay the people and let the people you hire run the organization.
Please, just let them get it together, right?
There will be no success.
Yeah, it's just a bad deal there. Like, I hate it. I mean, obviously in the division, I want them to be balling out, but you hate to see a team just always be bad. Like with the Browns, for years it was like, come on, man. But now look at the Browns. The Browns finally got their heads out of their butt. Jimmy Haslam decided, let's get these pieces in, and they're letting them run the team. Really, the real person you got to give love to is John Dorsey. John Dorsey turned this bad boy around.
He came in and made moves,
and then they fired him.
We were just like. Well, and we were like, why the hell are you doing this?
Right.
And now a lot of it makes sense. I mean, Carl Joseph was another first-round pick that everybody gave up on. They brought him in, and, he's standing in the end
zone just waiting for interceptions and stuff. So, yeah, I look at it and say, like, just look at the example of the Browns, the Lions, and maybe you can get back on track. The Falcons. I believe they are hiring Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator from the Tennessee Titans.
That one's iffy on me.
I was surprised by that, too. I mean, yes, he's made Derrick Henry phenomenal. And, of course, A.J. Brown is starting to ball out. And, has been balling out. Corey Davis has gotten better. But
he had younger pieces to work with.
Right.
Here, actually, they still don't even have a GM.
They don't.
So, now would be a prime time to try to get something for Ryan. I mean, you might not get anything but a high five, but get something.
Somebody needs a quarterback somewhere.
Julio Jones.
Heck, if you're Atlanta, why not go to Desean? At least you can send Matt Ryan there, and you can bring in, you got the number 3 pick. I'm pretty sure the Texans won't mind having that pick.
Well,
I mean, so
why not work out a package with Julio and send him that way?
Something. Those guys got to go elsewhere, in my opinion. They have to go elsewhere.
Absolutely, yes.
The next one, let's see. Next one we got going on here, the Jaguars. The Jaguars signed Urban Meyer to be their next head coach. I don't think it was for the $12 million that everybody was rumoring around, but
3 years he's going to be like, I have health conditions and want to spend time with my family. I don't see. I see, and I hate to say this. Remember when Nick Saban tried to be an NFL coach?
I do. I remember.
I see a repeat of that.
That's not good.
It's not. It's not good.
It's not good at all.
I mean, Urban Meyer. I got the respect for him. He brought us a national championship. But I do.
Some college coaches just don't transfer over. They just don't. Now, I mean,
let's start
a lot.
Chip Kelly, Greg Schiano.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
They tear down an entire organization and trade away the good
Petrino.
pieces.
Petrino's probably the worst one. In my opinion, he was the worst one ever. Like when Petrino was it? What's Petrino's first name? I want to say Rick, but it's not Rick. It's not Rick. I
want to say Rick.
It's not Rick. Rick is NBA, but he had a bad run in the NBA too. God, I don't know. I can't think of his first name. Anyway, he was the Arkansas head coach after he left Atlanta.
Oh.
But he went to Atlanta. Atlanta was in the middle of the season.
And he just like.
And my man said, "I'm out of here." I'm like, "What?"
I do remember that.
And some people are just not made out for it. That's why I said, like, I do like the fact that he is smart enough to bring in guys who have that NFL pedigree or as his offensive coordinators. Like he's bringing in Scott Linehan from he's an LSU offensive coordinator now, but he's bringing him back to the NFL.
He was before there. He was at Dallas.
Yeah, and then he's bringing the defensive line coach from the Baltimore Ravens. That's not a bad move there. Yeah. So he's bringing in guys who they could help him along the way. But let's see, is he smart enough to let those guys help him become a good NFL coach, or is he going to be that guy? I'm the coach. Do what I do.
I mean,
I think he's got to let him do that.
I said it last show, and I think I said it the show before that. He's had one quarterback translate over to be successful, and that's Alex Smith.
And that's Alex Smith.
I mean, there's even rumors that he's going to try to reach out to Tebow and bring Tebow down to Jacksonville.
Don't do that.
But Tebow
unless you're bringing him as a coach, that's different.
But Tebow is so excited about baseball, I don't think he's interested.
I mean, Tebow's 30 now. Like,
damn.
I mean, that's right. He's up there.
I didn't know he was that old.
He's like 29, 30. Like Tebow's he's got to be in his 30s. Tebow was.
He was 23 in 2011.
11, right? So yeah, he's probably about 30, 31, at least. Something in that range. Steven Atkins, what's up, brother? Good to see you. And Vass, thanks for tuning in, my fellow Packer fan.
Hilda said Rick like Jay did.
Is it Rick? Is Rick? I can't.
See,
I don't know why.
I think Rick Pitino is the head coach of Louisville.
It's gonna bother me till I'm gonna have
just usually the Google.
I'm gonna use the Google because I don't know why it's not clicking right now. Petrino.
Now the next one, the Los Angeles Chargers brought in Brandon Staley.
Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Bobby. Oh, okay, we good now.
But brought in Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator from the Los Angeles Rams.
Right.
It's an all right hire if he gets the right health team in there. They got to stay healthy.
Me personally, I don't like the move unless they felt really good about their offensive coordinator that they have there in place now.
Well, but hiring a new head coach, he gets to bring in his own OC.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And sometimes they'll keep him. But my thing was, I'm surprised they didn't stick offensively here because, I mean, you got a great young quarterback in Herbert. Don't you want to maybe bring an offensive mind to keep that train rolling? No. But I mean, sometimes maybe Stanley can find somebody that can come in and help continue that growth. I don't know. Staley. Brandon Staley. Okay, yeah. I'm getting used to him. I mean, he could think Wade Phillips for his job. So
now, New York Jets.
Yeah, Robert Saleh.
Now, I love this hiring because he was great with the 49ers. I mean, Warner was like a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
That middle linebacker, and just tore up the league.
I mean, he's had a great defense for the last guy. He has nurtured that defense for the last year.
But, one thing that really annoys me, and if I say this wrong, I'm sorry, but they're like, oh, he's the first Muslim head coach and this and that.
Well, why do we care?
Who gives? The man has done what he had to do to get where he's at.
Right.
Great job, dude.
They always do that.
Why does it have to be about color, creed, or religion?
Stop it. Like, it obviously, yes, it's all right to celebrate it a little bit, but they make it such a big point. Like, just
the man is
divide,
who he
divide,
is.
divide, man.
Exactly.
We always dividing each other. it drives me nuts. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, but it's a big deal. It is. Don't get me wrong. It's a big deal, but I feel like that shouldn't be the first thing that you bring up.
But I mean, the man paid his dues. He worked his ass off to get where he's at. He deserves it.
It should be a solid side note. It shouldn't be like, oh, he's the first Muslim head coach. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought he was black. I'm still not even sure. Like, I look at him at certain angles, he's black, and then he looks white. I don't even know. He's Middle Eastern at this point.
I thought he was mixed.
We still trying to figure it out.
But like I said, when it comes to life, what does it matter?
It really doesn't.
If I don't disagree with if I disagree with what you have to say, I'm not gonna bitch at you until you understand and agree with my point of view.
Right.
What the fuck ever.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But congratulations to him. I really like the moving away because, they're going young. They're going a young guy who's going to get his first shot in the league. And if you talk to players in San Francisco, they love him.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
love him. So why not bring a coach in? This could be another one of those hires like the Matt LaFleur's, the McVays. I feel like this could help turn this Jets team around. I think it's a really good hire. I really do like it.
Absolutely. And I mean, he was very smart because the year they went to the Super Bowl, the two safeties that they had were, like 5th and 6th round pick safeties. But they actually played high school and college together. And
so they had that communication.
Knowing what one was going to do the other, and knowing the people that you're playing with. I mean, that's very key.
It's huge. It's a huge thing. So I like the move. I like the move. Great move by the Jets.
I think it's my opinion, best. I mean, he's in a very tough situation, big market, but I think it's the best hire so far.
Yeah, so far. Now, one other that I did forget to put on the logo was the Philadelphia Eagles. This did not happen the last time we were on here. Didn't see Doug Peterson exiting. I thought that we were going to give him at least another shot here, but hey, Doug Peterson is gone. This has become it's a prominent head coaching spot, but a very interesting one. Well, but the name that they keep bringing up,
I don't want to hear the shit. I know who it is.
You already know. The name they keep bringing up,
Todd Bowles.
Is Todd Bowles.
He grew up there. He went to college at Temple.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him go because of the great things he's done for our defense.
Right. What's up, Aliko?
So for me, no, I don't want to see him go. And the problem there is Carson Wentz. I never thought I would say that until I started reading quite a bit of what was coming out afterwards. But Wentz would change every play that was called down to the field.
You can't do that. You can't. I mean, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, big people that have been in the game long enough
to
can
read and see something different.
You can't change everything, brother.
No,
especially
if you can't stay healthy and be on the field.
Exactly. All right. So I don't hate Todd Bowles, and we talked about this last time. My only problem with him is he has a very, very tough demeanor, but the times that I've had a chance to interact with him, which has been a couple, is just I don't know, man. Like, he's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. Some people are just cut out that way.
They're good at certain positions.
Right,
yes.
And I don't want to – if he gets a job, kudos to him. I'm going to be happy for him. I just worry that he's another one of those guys that are really good defensive coordinator, may not be a good head coach.
He was the last – before Adam, I do a lot of Coke, Gase.
Right.
Todd Bowles was the coach there, and they were terrible.
Yeah, no, they had 1 year. I think they went 10-6. Other than that, it was bad. It was bad from beginning to end. And he felt like in the press conferences, some people just don't like being around the media. I understand that. I've seen it. You've seen it. It just you can tell he doesn't like being around the media. And he doesn't, to me, this is my personal opinion. It looks like he's uncomfortable being around the media. He would rather just do football. Let's focus on football. Yeah. And that's why I think he's perfect for a defensive coordinator, because being a head coach, you have to be able to entangle. You got to be able to entangle all of that. And when he was getting ridiculed for how his team was playing, I just don't think I got to deal with the media.
Constructive criticism. Well,
exactly. That's why he's a phenomenal. Look, he's got a defensive coordinator job in Tampa Bay for life at this point. The way he's coaching up that defense, and that's just my opinion. But if I had to pick, if I'm Philadelphia, I would have said Frank Wright would have been the guy. If especially the only guy that I think that can fix Carson Wentz, since that's when he was playing his best ball at this current time. But he's not leaving Indianapolis. I mean, that's too good of a situation. And now he may bring Wentz there, which is the one that makes more, if he goes traded anywhere, the Colts is the best spot for him. I think that's, if he's going to resurrect his career, that's the best spot for him. It's the best spot.
He's just got to be, because I think his head got bigger than what his shoes could.
Yeah. He had a lot. I will give him on this as well. I think that when he was and we'll move on after this, I think when he was really going, like when he was like the man, I think the Nick Foles thing is the worst thing, obviously, that happened to him. Him getting hurt and Foles winning that Super Bowl, when people realize, well, we won the Super Bowl without you. You know what I'm saying? I think that has
he became expendable.
He became expendable. And unfortunately, I think they're going to have to – it's one of those situations that it's time to be anew. Go trade him if you can make that happen, because the money is ridiculous. Trade him, just start over. I mean, sometimes it's okay. You did it when Chip Kelly was there. Hey, you say, bump this. We got to get out of here. So, and this is Howie Roseman's we had Mike Bish on Legacy on Fire. Is the third head coach.
Roseman's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go. So we'll see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we'll update you when we hear more.
Hilda might disagree with us because being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. I mean, they don't. You know how that goes.
But now talking about that before,
I don't want Becca to beat me up either, so I'll be quiet.
I know. But the OC down there in Dallas.
Yeah, he got to look at it. I heard that he's interviewing for the job.
I think that would be a good fit.
Yeah, I really wanted to see him go to Boise. I really wanted him to take that head coaching job.
Kellen Moore to be back home.
Yeah. I was really looking, because I think it would have been a good spot for him to, one, grow as a head coach instead of jumping right into the NFL. Sometimes it's good, and it could work.
Right.
He's a young gun. Let's grab a young gun, see what he's done with that Dallas offense. He was able to bounce, even though people, like a year ago when was the head coach, everybody blamed Kellen Moore.
But now the Clapper also is one of the hot
candidates. He might be the Eagles' next head coach. Close your ears, Jesse.
Oh, God, I hope
Close your ears, Jesse.
I would just love to see him. Yep, good job. Way to turn the ball over, guys. Keep it up.
I tell Jesse that all the time. Foles much better than Wentz. He was. I mean, Foles was the guy there. I mean, he was just built to be the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. So that's my opinion on that one. But anywho,
system fit.
Now, as we move on to our next topic, we gotta go. Man, what a weekend, right, buddy? What a weekend! I tell you what, the playoffs this weekend were very interesting.
We both dreaded this matchup. We did.
We talked about it. We didn't want to see it. Low key, I was like, man, if we lose, well, then I hope the Buccaneers win, so Jay's happy. And he said the same way. He was like, man, now we got to take the whole week, and we're going to probably be cordial up until about Sunday. Sunday is going to be like,
bro, we're both going to be cordial until the game's over.
Yeah, until the game's over. So, I mean, look, I'm excited, one, for Tampa Bay because it's been a long time.
2007
it's been a long time.
Was the last time we made the playoffs. 2002 was the last time we made the championship game. You know what happened that year? We won the Super Bowl.
So, I mean, and, we talked about, Super Bowl being in Tampa. This is what makes me a little weary. This is me as a Packers fan. Tom Brady tends to break the mold. Okay? So, when you break the mold, you do things that no one's ever done before. Well, guess what? Tom Brady's got 6 Super Bowls. He's the only quarterback that's got 6 Super Bowls. He looks like he's on the verge, potentially, of becoming one of the guys who have, taken a team to Super Bowl in both the NFC and AFC. This is all possibilities. But the one that bothers me,
nobody has ever played at home in the Super Bowl.
And you know what? Tom Brady says, well, here's my challenge. Let me go for it.
Sign me up, bitches.
That's what I'm saying. So, you look at that, and I think Tom Brady's one of those guys that he may not say it openly, but when he sees stuff like that, he uses that as motivation.
And he's great with that.
Yeah.
And I hate him. He could get hit by a car, I'd be all right.
Not before the game, though, right?
I mean, actually, watching Blaine Gabbert come in,
Mm-hmm.
Blaine wasn't bad.
No, Blaine had his moments.
I wish we would have kept Rosen, because I saw him as the quarterback of the future, but then he went and
poor guy's been bounced around.
But I just think Tom's one of those people that says, "Oh, it hasn't been done? Sign me up."
Right. I look at it and say that's why I say I'm a little weary on that end. When I come back to it and look at it and say,
I mean, wouldn't this be like one of the best ways to go out on his legacy?
Yeah,
No
if he wins this one,
Because
does he come back? But he's Tom Brady, so
you take it down Drew Brees,
you take down Aaron Rodgers,
and then you come in and then possibly beat Pat Mahomes.
I mean, if he does that,
if he can see straight,
that would be magic.
Jay Quimby, go ahead and cook.
Don't do that, Hilda. Don't start that type of stuff. Look, me and Jay are just gonna be cordial. I'm not. Look,
hey, Hilda,
I ain't put no bad mojo in this week. I'm sorry.
Last time, when we played earlier in the season, I called him, and 4 minutes after I called you is when that
the
pick
disaster struck.
I actually brought that stat up during the show before that.
Yeah,
game.
he was like, "Yeah, man, you know you never throw no picks. You never done that." I said, "You know what?" And then he throws 2 picks, and I said, "Ain't this a pick?" I was like, "Man, I told Jay last week if we somehow are in the game against each other, I will not be talking to you on the phone. Don't call. I may even block him." Just for those 3 hours, I might have to block him, but it has nothing to do with because I don't love the man.
No, but see, I love you, but you will forget to unblock me.
Where's he at? He got to send me a messenger. Hey man, you finish unblocking me yet? But let's get into the games over the weekend real quick and give you some feedback from there. Obviously, Packers win. They defeat the Rams, #1 defense in the league. Everybody was hyped about the Devontae Adams versus Jalen Ramsey match.
And Ramsey didn't show up.
He didn't show up. I felt bad for him a little bit, but I don't think it's that he didn't show up. Matt LaFleur probably doesn't get as much credit as he possibly deserves because he's got Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to stand up real quick and give Matt LaFleur his love because he schemed well against Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
He knew what to do. And I think he also had the advantage because he was the offensive coordinator for McVay. So he had a chance to sit back and know what he needed to do to scheme against that defense, against his defense.
But
that's
then
just
you
me.
also had on the other side, the Chargers found out they were losing their DC.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of throws that on a normal day against any average team, they're interceptions in the end zone, and they're like, "Oh, look, the ball, hi,"
Yeah, I looked and I was surprised at a couple, and those were obviously, as long as they didn't take it back to the house, the interception potential wouldn't have made too much of a difference, because it was right before halftime, but it was huge because Green Bay ended up getting a field goal out of it, and so they got some points out of it.
The points, but the interception against us, you saw the change in his eyes. That's the one, and I've always told Jay this. I can always tell when Aaron Rodgers is going to be on top of his game. I knew at the beginning of this game when he walked on the field, his facial expression, I saw the focus. You saw the defeat.
I need that guy this weekend. If he doesn't come in with that face, as soon as I see the face change, I already know it. I can tell you when the game is over. When we played the Bucs the first time, the first pick, I said, that's not good. I said, I'm going to give him one chance to fire back. Plug. I'm going to give him one chance to fire back here.
In the fire pit.
In the fire pit. I'm going to give him a chance to fire back and see what he does. Then he threw the pick. I said, game over. I knew there was nothing we can do after that. The last time I seen that type of play from him, NFC Championship game last year. It's just, for him, people look at it and say, you know what? Aaron, you finally got an NFC Championship game at home. He's been on the road for all 4. He's been on the road
like
for.
Hilda said, and we mentioned, Tom knows how to play in that cold.
He does. That was my, and I told you that last week. That was my concern. I'm like, if I had to choose, as a Packers fan, who I want to see Drew. First of all, you can tell after the way he was throwing last night, Drew may have to retire. His arm is not the same. He doesn't have the same strength. He can't get the ball down the field the way he used to.
So it makes you wonder, when he come over in 2006 from that catastrophic shoulder injury.
Right.
With age, if it's
starting to cause. And I think what Sean Payton tried to do was mask it, and that's why let's do a trick play. Let's bring Taysom Hill and do. I think he tried to mask it the best way he could, and that's a true friend. That's a true friend right there. But I think it is time. It is time for him to go ahead and hang him up, man. There's no shame in Drew Brees' game.
BB talking shit about you, bro.
What she say?
He wouldn't cook him dinner. It'd be a gift card to Chipotle.
that ain't me. That ain't me. That's the wife. She the Chipotle one. I mean, I eat it for every now and then.
Hey, you be careful because sometimes she stands outside the door. Other times she watches the show.
Oh man.
And you be in.
Then I get beat up. I ain't got time for that. But yeah, I mean, I will say this. I wanted to get that love to Matt LaFleur because to be honest with you, he just called a great game. And the defense, with Green Bay's defense, they just had to find ways to step up. The biggest thing this weekend to me is not even the passing game. Yeah, passing game is going to be a big part. They've got to stop the run. Been saying it since the NFC Championship game last year. The way that Fournette and Ronald Jones ran the ball yesterday, if they run the ball with that success against Green Bay, they win this game. That's my opinion.
Good job, guys.
That's my opinion. So Green Bay, one, has to get their running backs going.
Right.
Hopefully they can have Dylan healthy, but we'll see.
So, I mean, we kind of covered both NFC games.
Yeah, we covered both NFC games. So we're good there. Go Pack, go.
It was nice for me. The missing piece when we played the Washington football team was Devin White.
A monster. Absolute monster.
He had 11 tackles yesterday, fumble recovery, and an INT.
Right.
He's a machine.
Right. And I watched him, and I said, man, I remember we talked about him as a draft pick, and he was like, yeah, I'll be happy with him. And look at him. He's been.
Well, the last linebacker that I wanted, the one pick that I've ever gotten from Tampa was Levante David.
And you got him. And this one, look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, the one, I will say this, our last couple of first-round picks, in our history of first-round picks is usually garbage. Now, obviously, Jordan Love didn't play this year, last year, this year, whatever. But looking at what Alexander has done, what Savage has done, the ones before this year have been doing really good things. And that makes me happy to see that, we've been able to figure it out.
Then I can bring up Kevin King.
We're not going to talk about Kevin King.
Okay.
There's no need to talk about him.
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson had moments, and then for whatever reason, he got on Pettit's bad side, and then all of a sudden
That was a dig at Jay. Jay can cook, and you know this because I've cooked for you, so stop.
I can cook, man. But, yeah, so we'll talk about predictions after we do the AFC. Now, AFC matchups were very interesting. Buffalo, invites, let me tell you how funny Buffalo is. Buffalo invites Lamar Jackson into their home. They beat on him.
Knock him the fuck out.
They knock him out, and then because they feel sorry for him, they donate to his foundation. I mean, you know what?
75,000. The Bills Mafia.
They're a petty, man. They're some petty people.
It's not.
I mean, it's petty, but it's nice at the same time. Like, you can't trash them for it.
Who was the guy that come in and they ended up donating, I think it was Dalton?
Yeah, they end up because they help them get to the playoffs for the first time since
forever. $200,000.
And they gave him $200,000 to his favorite charity. That's what I'm saying. Like, what they're doing is very petty, but very nice at the same time. So you can't trash him on it because it's a beautiful thing. I mean, like, they picked his foundation and they said, look, we're going to donate to your foundation. It's like, we hurt you, so we're going to take care of you. I think it's petty, man. But I mean, Buffalo looks good, man. Buffalo's scary. Buffalo, to me, is the scariest.
I just want to say my Josh Allen thing at the beginning of the year for certain people that watch our show. He did great. I mean, he sucks.
Whatever. He can't throw 300-yard games. He threw like 9 this year. It's been a tough deal. But Josh Allen is, how I feel about Josh Allen.
Yeah, well, he's the first one that you've had a man crush on that's actually done good.
performed well. Thank you, Josh, for making me look good at least once. That's all I've asked for.
Because I just keep thinking Blake Bortles.
I had Blake Bortles crush for 1 year.
And that was his last year to play.
That was the last year he played. I thought that he was going to – I really thought he was going to do good things. I was like, man, this guy's got – because they made it to the AFC Championship game, and I'm like, man, Bortles has got something cooking. And then next year he's just started cooking interceptions. Wee, just tossing them everywhere. But this Buffalo team is just – it was a really hard-fought game.
It was.
And you look 17-3 and you say, oh, man, well, Buffalo – no. This game was tight until that 101-yard pick six.
Okay, here you throw out Josh Allen threw 166 yards and 1 touchdown. Their defense had 101 yards and 1 touchdown.
Right.
Besides that, you get a field goal.
Yeah.
So, the defense, it was very, very much defensive fought game. It was boring as hell.
But it was a tough. It was a grinder. It's one of those ones. Sometimes you just have to win it and move on.
Jay, you stop being petty. What the?
Jay's like, what did I do?
Okay.
But Buffalo looks good as they move on. Now Buffalo was this close to getting an AFC Championship game at home. Kansas City. Kansas City just keep finding ways to win games. These last two playoff years, I don't know what it is, man. They find ways to win games they shouldn't win.
The last time the Browns had something happen like with that fumble was 87.
Crazy. To be honest with you, if you look at it now, we both said it, like it was a helmet to helmet. It should have been, brought back.
A spot foul right there.
Yep, it should have spot foul right there. So, for Cleveland fans, they're probably, if you go into a Cleveland group chat right now, they're probably burning somebody's house down with this bad boy.
No, if I would have told you that, playing, of the last 4 teams would have been the Browns and the Bills, you'd have told me I was smoking crack.
I would have told you were smoking crack, yes. If you look at I thought that the Browns would make I thought they had a good shot at making the playoffs. But like we said before, every time we picked, I picked them last year and they disappointed me completely. So I didn't even pick them this year.
Nobody had an idea that they would beat the Steelers the way they did.
Yeah, they smacked them. Yes, the Steelers scored 37 points, but it was
4 interceptions.
Yeah, it's crazy. But if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, when me and Jay first, got the podcast, our first episode together.
Oh, we talked about
maybe the 3rd episode, but anyway, one of the first 2 episodes, we talked about how to rebuild, and we talked, to rebuild that Browns, and they listen. And look at them now. I'm very proud of this Cleveland Browns team. I don't expect Odell Beckham to be there next year, so I'm intrigued to see how they make that happen.
But nobody would have thought him getting hurt and missing the rest of the season
would be the spark plug they needed.
Exactly. And look, they could potentially get. I don't think they can get first for him because he can't stay healthy.
I would get at least a second. You can get a second, maybe and some people may not be willing to give the second.
Maybe the Browns should get where they originally were in the spot to select Julio Jones, and they traded back.
Right.
And flip them.
See if you can get him. Why not? Because if they can get Julio, shoot. Julio, that's a different monster right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole different monster. But the Chiefs found a way to move on, even though Patrick Mahomes took one of the nasty. It didn't look as bad until he's trying to stand up.
I thought it, honestly, when I saw it, it looked like I was worried about his arm because he landed on his throwing arm.
Uh-huh.
And when I went back and watched the replay, he's like, put me in, coach. Oh, where am I?
Put me in, coach. Where am I? I don't know. You tell me.
Now talking about that, back-to-back times, the last 2 MVPs.
Yep.
Got kicked out of the game for concussions.
And that's tough. That's a tough deal. I saw it and I said to myself, like, man, not both MVPs, but at least one MVP is going to get potentially one more shot at maybe getting back to the Super Bowl here. So this is his 3rd straight. This is crazy to say. He's only been in the league 4 years. This is his 3rd straight AFC Championship game. 3rd straight.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
I remember how much love I had for him.
Yeah, I mean, you called that bad boy out the bat. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, prediction time.
Steven, fuck off.
What did Steven say?
Cheesecake shit again.
He don't like cheesecake, man. He don't like cheesecake. He won't eat it. Look, he won't eat it. All right, so I got it. We got it. All right.
I was being petty, but whatever.
He don't care. Now, let's talk prediction. Now, we're not going to talk our game first. We'll wait.
I don't even want to talk our game.
We already know where we're going there. So, I mean, I'm not picking them.
I'm picking the Packers to win.
And I'm picking no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
In the cold, Aaron Jones.
I hate you
coming out
so
like
much for this, man. Why?
Or Alvin Kamara.
You're gonna force me to pick the Bucks? Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not. You know what? No comment. I'm not even commenting on the game. We're just gonna talk about the AFC Championship game. I refuse to do this. This is ridiculous. How dare you, sir? Back me in the corner. That's petty. That's petty.
I will take that. That
was real petty. All right, so AFC Championship game, Chiefs and Bills. Now I'm a little torn because at the beginning of the season I had the Chiefs going back to Super Bowl and winning. That was my pick. I had Chiefs and Seahawks. Seahawks obviously disappointed. They're gone. But when the playoffs started, I picked the Bills because I said to myself, which team is having the most fun right now playing football? It's the Buffalo Bills.
And they're going to be playing warm. And if you look on the defense, there is nobody. They're going to have to put two people to cover Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs is having an amazing year. And we knew he was good. Now we know why he was so mad in Minnesota.
That's not nice, Steven, but thank you. I will use your frequent flyer miles to go to Disney.
What?
He flipped me off.
Did he? No. No, Steven. I will say this game's still tough for me to call, but I'm going to go with Buffalo. Even though I picked Kansas City at the beginning of the year to win it all, I just like the way Buffalo is playing, man. Like, they're having fun playing football.
I agree. I don't, I'm worried about whether Mahomes will make it through the concussion protocol. Because most of the time that's 10 days.
Right.
And I think they're going to try to push him. And he gets one good hit.
He's going to be right back out.
Cuckoo and for Cocoa Puffs.
Anything is possible.
So for me, I have to agree with you. The Bills, Stephon Diggs is great. But then the other Stephon, Gilmore, is just as good.
Right.
But then you got, you can move Hill all over you want. You got White on the other side. Poyer's still there.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be great.
So, yeah, I mean, it should be a good game. No, you're good. Okay. It should be good regardless. I mean, am I going to be surprised Kansas City wins this game? No, not by far. Like I said, I love the fact. I mean, I don't know. That Kansas City crowd is a different beast as well, so I will give them credit where credit is due.
The last time the Bills were in a championship game, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. But they're going. Not Disney.
There's a small part of me that wants to see the Bills win the Super Bowl, just because of everything they've been through as a franchise. The 20 years of waiting, the 4 straight Super Bowls, all devastating losses. Losses.
I'm going to go on record and say the only reason you're saying that is because you're Mariners.
No. Yeah. Well,
I know it's exactly because of your Mariners.
Well, because I need Seattle to pull a rabbit out of their butt this year and make the playoffs again. Yay. But I just really want to see. I like good stories. If Green Bay doesn't win, if Tampa Bay doesn't pull this off, I want to see Buffalo win it because I want to see, Kansas City, they got their glory again. It's been 50 years. They won a Super Bowl. I'm happy for them. They've got a ring. But to see a young Buffalo team find a way to make that thing happen and give that city the joy that they could have, that could be amazing. That's all. But they're my second choice.
But see, now if they go and start burning couches and stuff, they're going to have a flood because they probably got like 38 inches of snow right now.
Yeah, you already know. You already know how that's going to go down in Buffalo. So we got our picks there.
Now, Becca said my thing is they know what to say to get around that stuff. However, the players should take care of their own health as a priority. And I agree.
Yeah.
Because any person that's an athlete and ever been hurt, you want to be out there.
Yeah,
to
this is
support your
important.
team.
This is a Super Bowl we're
It's
talking about.
important, but you know what? Your health
It's way more
is
important.
way more important.
So we'll see. Will it be everything Henny, or as anything is possible?
I'm not trying to make fun or bring up anything terrible, but Junior Seau was a hell of a human being. And the CTE, look what it did to him.
Yeah, and so that's why I say you got to be careful with this.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's had a couple moments where you just gotta kind of be careful. All right, everybody. Now you know what time it is, Jay. You can go ahead and take off your headset.
Oh shit.
Now, everybody, it is time for.
And now it's time for cash.
I wasn't even that loud this time.
Or trash.
It's because I took my damn headphones off.
Go figure. All right, everybody. It is time for Cash or Trash here on the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast. And our first topic we're going to talk about goes into the world of Major League Baseball. So they kind of tinkered with this or talked about this a little bit last year. And this is the extra inning overtime rule. Jay, explain to him a little bit what's going on here.
Because MLB wants to play the full 162 instead of a shortened season.
Right.
So what they're talking about is you're going to have double headers, but they're going to be only 7-inning games. And then if they go past the 7 innings, you automatically start with a runner on second base. So it's kind of like, T-ball when we were kids.
Right.
So, I don't like the overtime rule.
Right.
But the 7 innings, I do like that. I like seeing more baseball.
I think it would help the game, I think, also maybe become a little bit faster under that circumstance. Because how many times have we seen 17, 16-inning games because nobody could get, you already give that you put more pressure.
You've seen quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely see 10, 11-inning games. But then it's going to be interesting on how you can use your pitching staff because if your pitcher comes in and he's throwing kind of a dud, he pitches 2 innings.
Right.
Do you make him rest the 5 days, or can you put him out there again on 3-day rest?
Right. So it gives it a little bit more. It just baseball's always been a game of.
But then you got 2 pitchers going 1 day. There's definitely not going to be that 5-day rest.
That's true too. So it just brings a different element. It really changes the managerial aspect of everything.
Your strategy has to completely change.
So, cashing or trashing this bad boy?
I'm going to cash it. I like it. I want to see the 162 games. I think we're going to see a bubble again with them, which I think is good. I've seen they're bringing back some of the minor league stuff, which is good because it helps player development.
Exactly.
And there were so many jobs lost over that. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that enjoy going down to the Squirrel Stadium and watching movies, by all means.
Yeah.
But,
it's just not the same. Richmond actually has the best attendance. Well, they had the best attendance in AA the last 2 years. Richmond always packs it out there. So it's like, just imagine if they decide to get a new stadium, and so that way we can actually have more attendance. Okay, but anyway, just look at what they've done there. They've done a phenomenal job, and then they're supposed to be a AAA team this year, I believe. I think they're going to be the Washington's affiliate and no longer the Giants affiliate.
Oh, that makes it even better.
Yeah, that makes it even better. So
Especially
it makes more sense. So
because literally you get called up, you're at like a 2-hour drive.
Right, and if Strasburg gets hurt and he going on a rehab assignment, guess what he coming to? He coming to Richmond. He coming to Richmond. All right. Next topic, and I am cashing that as well. Next topic, the March Madness. All right, so here's the deal. College basketball, and we've seen this a lot just within our area. Well, games have been canceled left and right because of COVID.
We were going to do one yesterday.
Yeah. We were going to broadcast UVA. UMass and VCU game yesterday, and 2 hours before the game, we get an email, game's canceled. Richmond was supposed to, women's were supposed to play yesterday, game canceled. UVA was supposed to play NC State on Wednesday, game canceled. Cancel. What type of March Madness could we truly have if all of this continues to go on? I mean, it's
again. I think the NBA did it really well last year,
right?
And you might see it again with the bubble.
The bubble is the best way to go. To be honest with you, I know fans would hate this, but they may need to ACC. You need a bubble. But I know that it's going to be tough because the kids have school. Well, so, but everybody's virtual learning anyway, so what's the difference? So
just have good Wi-Fi wherever you at.
Yeah, just let the ACC bubble be down in Greensboro.
Well, because we went down, did our thing, and boom, canceled.
Right. So it happens. We had Christina heading up to A10 last year. Before she left, they canceled it. I mean, it's been wild. But at this point, I think they're going to find a way to still have it. So I'm going to trash it. It gets canceled. I don't know what strategy they're going to come up with. They can't, money-wise, I don't think the NCAA can afford to lose it 2 years in a row. And I mean, I don't mind UVA being a champion for another year. That's fine with me. I mean, we'll take a 2-year championship reign. I mean, I'm cool with that.
I agree, but I see the numbers.
Yeah.
And the spikes, and now we got 2 variant strains, and going just completely back to what Becca said about health.
Right.
We want to keep everybody as healthy as possible.
I
think that I'm going to cash that it's canceled.
I would not be surprised if we see a different format of March Madness. Like, maybe they do the bubble, but they only do the top 16 teams. And they get in and say, hey, you're the top 16 teams in the nation. This is who plays out. It will take away from what we always love for March Madness, but I don't think they can afford not to have a championship.
Over 200-plus people packed into a bubble.
That's true.
And, look what we had with a couple of the NBA players doing dumb shit.
The NBA players
got college kids.
Yeah, the NBA players been doing some wild stuff. Now, and it's crazy because the bubble, when the NBA was in the bubble and the NHL was in the bubble, phenomenal job. Even baseball, except for when Justin Turner ran on the field.
Right.
But other than that,
Becca
they had good moves.
The bubble is awesome, but Disney is open now, or open to people now. So where would the bubble be? And
I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Indianapolis.
Well, that's what the Final Four is supposed to be at. So it makes sense for it to be there if they're going to do it. But I guess we'll see how all that goes out. But I'm going to trash it. March Madness gets canceled because I think they're going to find an alternate. It'll probably be like an 8-team or a 16-team tournament.
It's the NCAA, so they're getting money everywhere. They were able to get some sort of football in. They make tons of money there. So I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't think, because, now having a daughter in college, I don't think it's worth risking.
Right. Because they got a lot to look at.
That's the dad in me.
They got a lot to look at when it comes to that. Because parents trust you to take care of their kids, one. And and coaches, and they trust these coaches to take care of their kids, one. So if I'm sending my kid to college, and money wise, especially if you're paying all this money as well, especially for those who don't get scholarships.
Right.
It's just a bad deal.
But,
so
well, like Justin Fields, that hit he took playing Clemson.
Right.
He got 2 shots. He didn't know what the hell it was. And I instantly saw Varsity Blues all over in my head again. Oh, God,
not Varsity Blues. That's tossback right there. I remember that.
But, so is the care there?
Right.
Or is the fact of getting that W more important? And that I don't give a shit what the hell you're playing for. Health.
Health is big.
I mean, I would trade almost anything for being healthy.
Right. Me too. I mean, first come first, because guess what? You got to be healthy to play. So, or to be here. So,
yep.
Makes sense. Next, cash or trash. Andy Reid, best coach in the NFL, cash or trash?
Yeah, I got to trash it. The only reason I'm trashing it is because Andy Reid is one of the greatest offensive minds ever. Just hands down that you could ever dream of. Defensively, hey, I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, a little bit tough.
You know, best coach right now, I mean, everybody's going to say, pick a winning team, do this. I'm going to go with Flores. I like what Flores is doing. He's taken a shit team, had his vision, and he's put his pieces in place slowly. And they didn't make the playoffs, but
They were 10-6. And that offense, let's be honest with you, name a running back. Name a receiver besides Devontae Parker, who didn't play half of the year because he was hurt.
But they're getting it done.
They're finding ways. But that's, to me, once again, that's that he's the only, besides Vrabel, the only Patriot disciple that has found a way to truly. I like him as a coach. I'm not going to say he's the best coach in the NFL, but I can't even believe I'm going to say this, and it's not because but I really think that it may be Sean McDermott. Like right now, if you look at what he's done offensively and defensively for the Buffalo Bills the last couple of seasons, he's got them into the playoffs the last 3 years. He's definitely, if not that, he's definitely the coach, maybe the coach of the year.
I mean, I like that. I was just trying to go with the
non-player. Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, it's a great choice. You know how, I mean, I'm right there with you with Flores. Mm-hmm. I love Flores as a coach.
But
absolutely amazing.
McDermott kind of had the same situation.
Yeah.
You know, Frank Gore was his running back when he got there.
True.
So
Frank Gore's 118, man. He's up there.
And I want to see him come back next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to try. He's not. I think he's 200 yards away from going number 2 all time. I don't know if he's going to catch Emmett, but he can catch Walter next year.
I just don't like Emmitt Smith, so I want somebody to catch.
Well, I mean, he would have to play. He would have to have 2,000 yards, 1,000-yard seasons, the next 2 years. I believe maybe a little bit more over there to catch him.
Yeah, no.
But he's 37, 38, man. Like 40-year-old running back, that is unheard of. it's crazy. I mean, AP's still playing, but God forbid, because he owes money. You know, he's just trying to catch up. Every time he gets close to catching up, somebody hits him with a lawsuit. I feel bad for him, man. It's crazy.
Child support.
I'm telling you. Last one. Cash or trash on the trade for James Harden to Brooklyn. Now, here's some of the trade details. This trade was massive. The Nets received James Harden and a 2024 second-round pick from the Cavs. The Nets traded. Hold on. The Rockets received, because it was a 4-team deal. The Nets, the Rockets, the Cavs, and the
Pacers.
And the Pacers were all involved in this deal. The Rockets received Chris LeVert, Ronduas Kakarakis, and 3 first-round picks, 22, 24, and 26. Plus, they get 4 first-round swaps from the Nets from 21, 23, 25, and 27. So they have the option to swap picks with him if the pick is better. Also, they get Dante Exum, the former number 3 pick. They got him from Cleveland, and then they get the 2020 first-round pick from Milwaukee. That's what the Rockets got. The Cavaliers got Jared Allen, young productive center, who's done a lot of good things in Brooklyn. The Fro, which is talented within itself. Taurean Prince, decent bench player. That's about it. And the rights to Alexander Vezinikov, the 57th pick in 2017. Granted, he hasn't been in the league yet, from the Nets. And then the Cavs, that's who the Cavs received.
Yep.
All right, now the only reason why the Pacers are in this is because what eventually happened is the Pacers have traded Victor Oladipo to the Rockets for Chris LeVert, who's having a great season. Unfortunately, LeVert,
he just got hurt.
He has a mass on his kidney, so prayers go up to Chris LeVert.
Absolutely.
Now that I've gotten that all out of the way, cash or trash on this trade.
I mean, Kyrie and KD both signed off on this, but you know my feelings on Kyrie.
Yeah, you already know how I feel about Kyrie. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm
gonna leave that alone.
they couldn't get it done in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Harden with KD. I don't see him getting it done. I think this is trash. I think Brooklyn gave up way too much.
See, so I'm going to cash this. I actually cash a trade. But here's my thing. The last time Brooklyn gave up, and it makes me a little worried, the last time Brooklyn gave up this many picks, they gave them to Boston. And Boston has prospered for years. They have been relevant for years because of this.
Tatum.
So yeah, right. So I mean, if you look at the pieces that they got from that trade, yeah. Now the one difference is when they traded, they were trading Garnett, who was on the tail end of his career, Paul Pierce, who was starting. They both of the guys were pretty much at the last bit of their prime. They got one playoff run with the Nets, and then after that they started dispersing of them.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is KD in his prime, James Harden in his prime. The other night,
those pictures. I mean,
he lost the weight. Supposedly.
I need him to just kind of email me what the.
I want to know what he did because I could. If he's got the key to shedding off a couple 100 pounds, go ahead, man. Go ahead and toss that thing this way.
He sat at Whataburger for about 4
hours, and then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna take the best laxative in history, and it's gonna clean everything out. Whatever he did."
It gave him back his ass.
Right. So they said it was a waist trainer and all that stuff. Even if it is, how did his face get smaller? Because that's the question. That's the real question at hand. Because if you look at it,
it's just like
his face was really puffy. Now, I don't know if it's because he trimmed the beard and the beard made his face look bigger. I don't know what he did. Regardless, he still has a little bit of that weight on there. He did make one, he dropped 30. He had a triple-double in his first game, 32, 12, and 11. And then Durant had 42. So, but that's the type of production they're going to have to get from them guys. One, until Kyrie maybe comes back, which, like I said, I think they should trade him, but that's my whatever. We'll talk about that on Legacy.
Kyrie is hurt more than I am.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Legacy on Fire this week. And then, but yeah, I just look at it and say to myself, like, they got some decent bench pieces, but they traded a lot of their bench. LeVert was a big piece.
A lot of their bench and a lot of their future to win now.
So you got to win now, But I'm not gonna lie to you. If they got Kyrie and Kyrie's in his right mindset, and everything is rolling, let me tell you what, that's a tough team to beat.
I want to send that man a globe so bad.
Not gonna work, man. That is flat. You hear me? All right, so that is Cash or Trash, and this has been episode 271 of the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. We want to thank everybody for being a part. It's been a lot of fun. This episode, man, it went by really fast. This is a 120 already.
Holy, you say it really fast, but I mean,
we started at 12.
But just a big thing. Tell everybody you love them.
Facts.
Facts. Call your parents if you haven't talked to them.
Real facts.
And don't take anything for granted.
Yeah. And I said it yesterday in the video I posted. I just, yes, please, the ones that you love, stick close to them. I mean, a lot of people, you hear that and you're like, okay, whatever. Then it happens to you. Then it starts to click. You don't wait till it happens to you. Do not wait till it happens to you.
Because then you have regrets.
I don't have no regrets in this situation other than the fact that my mom had it. I couldn't control that, one. Two, also couldn't control the, dementia. That also something I couldn't control. That, but regardless, I know as a son, I did the best I could. I went out there, spent time with her every time I could, took her on vacations when we could, before she got. I did everything I could as a son. And I feel good about that.
I was blessed to meet her before all of it, and I got our first thing. She took me in their living room, the wall of Darrell.
Yeah, there's a whole wall. That's right. Like, that's right, bros.
This is my baby bro.
Yeah.
And look at all this stuff, and it was from his chubby cheek little picture.
Yeah, it's a baby, big hair.
And his rollback days with the Evil Empire.
Real facts with the Evil Empire. Now this right here. My man Ty brought this, and his wife Kelsey. So make sure y'all check Kelsey out, man, and go hit her up if you need some
work for my girl Becca.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Kelsey and Ty. That was heartwarming. I got so much stuff from other people. Rafi, I don't know if you're still on here. Thank you, brother, for reaching out when you did that day. You hit one of the first people to hit me up. So many people. I just thank you all. That's all I really can say. I love you guys. You take care of yourselves, man, and just live every day to the fullest. That's all I got on that.
Amen.
All right, everybody.
God
This
bless.
has been episode 271. We'll be back next week with 272. Don't give me the line on the day yet. I would say Monday, but I got to look at my schedule first.
Shit changes.
Everything changes. So we'll be back. We'll let you know when we're back in the building. Until next time, everybody, I'm Darrell Lawrence. This is Jeremiah Quimby. This has been episode 271. Peace.